are expecting us to do it. That's why they want a trial on Mayorkas. And I think it is so wrong that Chuck Schumer is trying to table
I can't keep up with all the issues you're throwing at me, Senator. We came today to talk about solitary confinement in federal prisons, and I hope we can get back to that subject. At this point, Senator Kennedy is recognized.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all for being here. I'm sorry I was late. I was in another committee. I want to ask each of you this question, and if you would be mindful of the fact that I only have 5 minutes, so if you could each maybe give me a 1-minute answer. If a bill were before, and I want to talk about prisons, federal prisons in general. If a bill were before the Senate to abolish solitary confinement in federal prisons, what exceptions, if any, would you recommend that we include in that bill? Can we start down here?
Senator Gio would not make any recommendations until we've had an opportunity to review the bill.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Senator. At this time, I don't have an answer for you.
Okay. Sir?
I would recommend that you follow what the Texas Commission on Jail Standards has done and follow the lead of Brandon Wood and the outstanding leadership that the state of Texas has taken.
What exceptions did they recommend?
There are some exceptions within there for minor infractions. There is a list of things that you cannot put people in solitary confinement for. I don't have a comprehensive list of it right now, but I'd be more than happy to obtain that for you. So we have over 600 points of compliance at local jails in the state of Texas that we must keep up. And so we work to ensure that we comply with all of those. And separation cells are one of the many things that we deal with. So. But I think if the federal government wishes to look at what the state of Texas has done, I think it would be beneficial if there is a problem.
Doctor?
Senator, I am here to talk about the health effects more so than the exceptions, but I would say that I would recommend looking to the alternatives to solitary confinement that already exist in multiple cities and states and potentially understand what exceptions they use to help inform your policy changes.
I must have asked a dumb question because I didn't get any answers. Let me try it another way. Are there any instances in the real world that we live in that, in your judgment, solitary confinement is appropriate? Doctor, we'll start with you this time.
Senator, your question builds off of what Chair Durbin had actually said earlier about who might need solitary confinement. I think for me as a health professional, what I find problematic is the current definition and use of solitary confinement of 22 hours a day.
Doctor, I appreciate that, but
I don't think that there are...
Can you answer my question?
Yes. Yes, sir. I don't think that there are uses of solitary confinement in its current iteration of 22 hours a day for anyone. Okay. I think that certain people need to be separated.
Thank you for being straightforward.
Yes, you're welcome.
I appreciate finally getting an answer. It's Sheriff, right?
Yes, sir.
Sheriff, are there any circumstances in your experience when solitary confinement is appropriate?
Yes, sir. I'll give you a list of some of the ones that are listed in the Texas Jail Commission. Interfering with a head count, in which we are required to do twice a day. Attempted escape.
So if someone interferes with the head count, that they should be in solitary confinement. They should
yes,
be,
yes,
okay.
That's something that
what
they
else?
can.
I interrupted you. I just want to be sure I understand. What else?
Yes. So attempted escape, possession of weapon, attacking jailers or inmates, destroying security equipment within the facility. Those are all ones that are listed in the code for the state of Texas.
Okay. Are there any other?
Sometimes we use separation cells in order to separate gang members during times of unrest. Sometimes we utilize separation cells when somebody comes in initially in order to prevent them from talking with or intimidating other
What do you mean
witnesses.
by separation cells?
It's a single person cell. So we will put them in a single person cell so that they cannot intimidate any of the co-conspirators in a case. And I'll give you a good example, being down on the border. Sometimes we'll
Can
arrest.
I ask you this? Sorry to interrupt.
No,
I'm
go
going to
ahead.
run out of time. I apologize, Sheriff. If a person's put in a separation cell, is that considered solitary confinement?
There is no such term in the state of Texas. It's separation cell, sir. So I guess based off of the definition that's been used here, I guess you would call it that. But we call it separation cell under our law.
Well, if the prisoner's put in a separation cell, does he have any contact during the day with other prisoners?
Yeah, they'll have vocal contact, yes, sir.
They'll have what?
They'll have vocal contact. In a jail setting, you're not going to have somebody that's isolated by sound. They also have access to publications. They also get access to phone calls, any of the correspondence that comes via the mail. They get exposure to sunlight, and they also get exercise every day.
Can I ask the other two witnesses the same question? Ladies? Are there any circumstances where you think solitary confinement is appropriate or necessary?
Senator, I just think that with lived experience, I think that no human being should be placed in solitary confinement.
Okay.
And Senator, as you know, GAO, these are policy decisions, and we evaluate any program's policies or practices, but we don't opine on policy decisions. So if it's something that you all put forward as policy, we're happy to review it.
Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry I went over. Thank you for your indulgence.
Thank you for attending the hearing, Senator, and your questions. And I'd just say during the course of the hearing, we have used many terms interchangeably, and they are different, much different. Protective custody. You are separated, as the sheriff has mentioned, sometimes by your own choosing. I think what is different is most people in the corrections and incarceration don't want to use the term solitary confinement. It has an odious connotation to it, and so they use different terms, separation, administrative separation, and the like. I think how you're treated when you're in that cell is different under different circumstances. Ms. Davis described her situation to us earlier, and it was the classic solitary confinement with 1 hour or 2 hours out of your cell and no physical contact to speak of while she was incarcerated. That is what I imagine it to be, no matter what the title may be. Senator Booker?
Mr. Chairman, I can't tell you how grateful I am for this hearing.